Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Today, I want to share a story about bagels. Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived above a bagel shop. So every morning, he would wake up to the delicious smell of bagels wafting through his whole house. I mean, what a way to wake up. Now, what I haven't told you is that his grandpa owned the bagel shop underneath his house. So every morning, the boy would wake up and he'd rush to get dressed and he'd run downstairs to help his grandpa before school. He would sort the bagels, put out the other pastries, and greet all of the regulars as they came in every morning. They'd say, "Hey, how are you doing?" or "The weather's nice today." And so many would say, "Thanks for the bagels." To which his grandpa would reply, "Oh, don't thank me." And that was always really confusing to the little boy. What do you mean, don't thank you? You make bagels. And his grandpa would say, "Well, what are bagels made of?" The boy thought, "Flour." "And where does the flour come from?" his grandpa asks. "From wheat." "And where is the wheat grown?" The little boy thought. "In the earth." "And who created the earth?" The little boy stopped and said, "God." He said, "That's right. So let's thank God for the bagels." The little boy turned and said, "Thank you, God, for the bagels." But he didn't get an answer. He went to school, still no answer. He came home, still no answer. During dinner, no answer. At bedtime, still no answer. Did God not hear him? So the next morning he wakes up with a new plan. Maybe I have to say thanks to God differently. So he runs downstairs to help in the bagel shop. He organizes all the bagels. He greets all the regulars. And right before school, he says, "Grandpa, can I get paid for helping today?" His grandpa smiled and said, "Sure, what would you like?" And he said, "A fresh bag of bagels." Grandpa laughed a little. He said, "We have all the bagels we want, but okay, sure, you can have a fresh bag of bagels." So after school, he comes back home, he did his homework, and then he took his fresh bag of bagels and he went to the sanctuary. Inside of the synagogue, inside of the sanctuary now again, he walks up to the ark. He opens the ark where the Holy Torah is kept and he puts the bag of bagels. And he says, "I thought you'd like to try them," and closes the door. Now, a couple days later, he's there for services. The ark is opened and the bag of bagels is gone. God must like bagels. And so the little boy thought, that was the perfect way of saying thank you. So each week, he goes and he gets a fresh bag of bagels and he goes to the sanctuary and he walks to the ark and he opens the ark and he puts the bagels in and he closes the ark and he goes home. And about a month later, his grandpa's getting really confused. Why do you need these fresh bag of bagels every week? So he decides to follow him. After school and after his homework's done, the boy goes down to the synagogue and his grandpa follows quietly behind him. He walks into the sanctuary and his grandpa creaks behind him. He walks up to the ark and he opens the ark and he puts the bagels down and his grandpa yells, "What are you doing? You can't put bagels in the ark." And the little boy turns and goes, "God likes bagels." And his grandpa laughs and says, "What are you talking about? God doesn't have a mouth. What do you mean God likes bagels?" And he says, "Every week I put bagels in the ark and they're gone. God likes bagels." And just then they heard the door in the back of the sanctuary open and they ducked down. And a man walks in with tattered clothes and he's clearly down on his luck. And he just starts talking. He says, "God, I came to you a month ago and I told you how hungry I am. I lost my job. I couldn't feed my family. And you provided these beautiful bagels. You kept us fed. You kept my confidence alive. And guess what? I got a new job. Today is the last day I'll be here for bagels. I won't need them anymore. I can provide for my family. But just as you've provided for me, now I'm going to go and give food to those who are also needy. Thank you so much for being there in my moment of need." He takes the bagels into his coat and he walks out the door. The boy is so upset. His grandpa doesn't understand. He says, "What's wrong?" And the boy says, "God didn't like the bagels." His grandpa, he laughed. He said, "He wanted to thank God, right? And he says, yes. And he says, well, you did. The little boy's confused. How? He says, did you give bagels to a hungry man? The boy says, yes. And he said, did he say he's now going to feed others who are hungry? And he said, yes. He said, then you made the world a little bit better. And the boy looked up. He said, you're right. Because that's the thing. Together as a community, when we all do things to make the world a little bit better for everyone else, that's how we say thank you to God. And God is very, very happy with that. Shabbat Shalom.